tough guys. And Rashad, I'll start with you. I've had the pleasure of covering your MMA career. Of course, remember your time in the UFC. I know you have one boxing fight on your record. That was 5 years ago. Why are you making the transition now from mixed martial arts to boxing?
I just want to say thank you, man. Thanks for having me on the show. It's always a pleasure talking to you, Ariel. And thanks to Triller, thanks to Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. for allowing me to be on the card with them. I mean, boxing is something that I've always loved, man. I grew up watching Mike Tyson. I love Mike Tyson. It's not that I haven't fought in so long. I've always boxed. And if it was up to me, I would have more boxing matches, but I don't. But I'm not crossing over. I've been doing boxing. This is just so happened to be my first fight in boxing in a few years.
Okay, and I'm looking forward to it. Now, Vidal, for you, some fans of yours and fans of the fight game will recognize you as the trainer for the very popular KSI. You've been by his side, but I feel like people are disrespecting your skills, my man. You have a very extensive boxing resume. So for those that may not know, or for those that just think that you're, the guy who trains KSI, let the people know where you've been in the boxing world.
Well, thanks for having me, Ariel. Let me get into this. It's gonna take a little while, but no, I've been boxing since I was 2 years old. I won my first national title at 11 years old. Continued to win more, so ended up winning 8 national titles, representing Team GB, captain the England team. Went to the Youth Olympics, European medalist, World Championship competitor twice. So yeah, I've had my fair share of boxing in my life, and meeting JJ KSI, as you referred to him, was a way of propelling me into public eye. But the work's been done behind the scenes for a long time.
Okay, great stuff there, and I appreciate you letting us know. In the words of Roy Jones, you almost forgot. You actually have your own career. You're not just a trainer. So, all right, let's go to the media now, and I'll call upon Josh Evanoff first of Courtside Sound Off. You have the first question, Josh.
Thanks, Ariel. I have a question for Vidal, and I also have a question for Rashad. For Vidal first, you signed with Floyd Mayweather and the Money Team last year, and my first kind of question is, how essential has it been being with fighters of that caliber, being with somebody like Floyd and Jeff Mayweather, and building upon your already amazing background? How essential has that been for you working with a team of that caliber?
That's been great. That's been literally what I needed. I don't feel out of place. The reason why I'm signed to is because I'm destined to go into the same place. Working with people who have that attitude and their ceiling is so high, it makes you want to fulfill those expectations. So working with Jeff, my new coach, Otis Pimpleton, these are people that have been around world champions, been around the highest level for a long time. So when I'm in the ring with them, when I'm training with them, I'm just soaking up all the knowledge that I've already had from the past, combining it, and you'll see how far it goes.
Okay, awesome. And then for Rashad, you brought up how boxing was kind of your thing and how you have a background in that. Now, you mentioned how you haven't fought for a couple of years. Was it a bit of a surprise to you to get that call to fight on the undercard of a Mike Tyson, Roy Jones fight against somebody of, high stature and high caliber like Vidal is?
No, man, it wasn't a surprise to me. Man, I'm blessed and I'm highly favored, man. So it didn't surprise me that a door was open on a card of this magnitude. But man, listen, I hear that he's been around for a long time and he's, he knows boxing. He grew up boxing. I'm just grateful that they gave me the opportunity to even step in there on a card like this. And the truth of the matter is, the only reason why they're giving me the opportunity is because they think it's going to be an easy fight. But I'm okay with that. And like I said, I do appreciate Vidal. I appreciate Mike Tyson and Roy Jones for even giving me the opportunity to display my skills on such a high magnitude card.
Josh, thank you very much for the questions. Before we get to our next question, I just have to ask you, Vidal, do you agree with what Rashad just said? Do you feel like this is an easy fight for you?
No, I don't think any fight is easy. No, I don't think any fight is easy, but if they end up being easy, then that's just how it goes. I prepare for a tough fight. I always prepare for the highest level of competition, opposition, but you know, that doesn't always happen. So I'm trying to repeat that process throughout my whole career. And I don't see why November 28th should be any different.
Okay, again, as you just said, November 28th on pay-per-view, Tyson on Triller.com. Let's go to our next question. Let's go to my man, Michael Fidel of The Body Lock. Michael, you're next.
Thank you. Question for Rashad. Rashad, obviously, many MMA fans will recognize you from your UFC career appearances on UFC 211, UFC 225. In what ways has preparing for this fight, a boxing match, been different for you? Who have you brought in as far as training partners, and how are you approaching returning to the boxing ring after a lengthy MMA career?
As far as that goes, man, I don't really have to bring anybody in. People think that I haven't done boxing, but you got to understand, man, my very first sparring session ever in boxing was right in front of Derrick James and Errol Spence Jr. I've been around EJ, I've been around Charlo, I've been around Maurice Hooker, I've been around so many boxers since 2014. I mean, I've sparred like Alex Clarkson, I sparred Adrian Taylor, I sparred Cam Awesome, who has like almost 400 amateur fights. So me seeing Vidal's credentials, it doesn't scare me because I've been in there with guys who have the same credentials, or no disrespect to him, or even greater credentials than he does. So I feel like I'm right at home, man.
Thank you for the question, Michael. And Vidal, I want to ask you, have you ever seen Rashad striking? Have you seen his MMA fights? Have you seen his lone boxing fight? And if so, what do you make of it?
I saw a clip of one of his MMA fights when I heard I was going to fight him. But when I fight my opponents, I actually don't watch them until the week of the fight. I focus on myself. That's what I do. That's what I've been doing, and it works for me. I only watch the week because I just want to get a little gist of what could happen, what they could do. But I go in there with a blank page. It's easier to draw on a paper with space.
All right. I like that. Okay, let's go to our next question now. Let's go to my fellow Canadian, Cole Shelton of BJPenn.com. Cole, you're up.
All right, thanks, Errol. Question for both these guys is Vidal, UFC coach KSI. You said you're stopped coaching. What's training camp like now that you aren't having to focus as coach? Because you were coaching a lot of those UK guys at KSI and it's on camp. Now it's fully focused on your fighting career.
You know what? I feel the same. Because I managed to separate my responsibilities, and that's why I step away from one or I do the other, because I understand how much dedication, focus, and time it takes to deliver and be the best in both. So when I'm coaching the guys, it's not a distraction away from my career because I'm solely focused on them. And then once that's done and they're resting and they're doing what they've been doing for years, I go back to what I've been doing for years and the focus remains the same. So no distraction. Obviously, it's not like a background thought, but I feel the same. Mentally, same stuff.
And then Rashad,
Rashad, go ahead.
You kind of brought it up. Like, do you think you're being brought in here to lose because Vidal Riley signed to the Mayweather team, undefeated? He's kind of this highly touted prospect out of England. Like, is this a fight they think you're gonna get smoked in?
Sheldon, what's up, man? What it do, man? No, it's not. But here's the thing: that's boxing. I mean, it's no secret to how boxing works. Boxing tries to build a fighter, so therefore they bring a fighter in that they feel as though it's not up to the caliber of the person that they're trying to push, and they want you to lose. But in this aspect, it's not the same, man. Of course, they think that I'm just an MMA fighter. They think that I don't know boxing. They think that MMA fighters don't use their jet. All these things. To me, that doesn't matter. Like I said, I respect my opponent. I respect all my opponents as far as what they do, where they come from, and the hard work that they put in. But listen, man, I took a fight in the UFC, my debut on 9 days' notice in front of 20,000 people. I fought on huge stages, and I actually got moved up to the main card as I was going to the arena. I was supposed to be the first fight of the night. On my way to the arena, they stopped me and said, "Hey, man, we just moved you up to the main card." So pressure for me, I'm built for pressure, man. Like, I'm built for pressure, and some people are not. But when those lights are on and when I get hit, everybody's credentials is going to go out the window. It's going to boil down to who got the heart, who wanted more, and I feel as though, man, when people fight me after they fight me, they feel as though they would never want to fight me again because I'm going to push you to that point to quit.
All right. One last question for Vidal and Rashad. Let's go to Harry Davies of SB Nation. Harry, you're up.
Hi, Rashad. Hi, Vidal. How you guys doing? My first question is for you, Rashad. Obviously,
Yes,
you
sir.
turned 39 next month, and I was just wondering what's next for you after this fight, and if it depends on the outcome. If it goes well, do you stick in boxing, and if not, do you maybe go back to your MMA ventures?
Honestly, man, like, you know, people, you started the question off with you're 39, but people who don't really do their research, they don't understand, man, like my body doesn't have all that wear and tear on it. I wasn't fighting coming up all these years. I didn't have my first fight until I was 30 years old. I didn't fight through the amateurs, none of that. And I excelled to the top, to the highest level of the sport within 5 years. So 39 means nothing to me. I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to go. I'm going to put on a show. And what's next for me, would I like to stick to boxing? Of course, man. But like I said, the boxing game is so crap. It's not like when I beat Vidal that they're going to be, okay, we're going to push you. We're going to give you somebody that we can build you with. It doesn't work like that. They're going to try to put me there with another top prospect that they think can beat me. But whatever is open for MMA, I hope it opens up more doors for me for MMA. I just can't get an MMA fight. And I'm always training. I'm always boxing. And this is what my heart is right now. I'm concentrating on this fight. Whatever comes after that, whatever door God opens for me after that, I'm going to take it, man, like full speed because I'm not done. I'm just getting started.
Great, thanks, Rashad. And now for you, Vidal. Obviously, you've already fought at some cards. There's a big buzz around them. How important is this event going forward for your career, you know, as you continue to build up your record with more and more fights?
Of course, it's extremely important because this is major exposure to the traditional boxing world. You know, I've accumulated a great following through another community, through my other ventures. But when it comes to boxing, especially over here in the States, this is a good statement for me to show my skills and prove what I'm saying about how long I've been in the game is actually shown in the ring. So yeah, it's a great stage. We've got two legends in the main event. My favorite fighter, Roy Jones, in the main event. And these things are all blessings and all opportunities. And we got to take them when they come, and we got to maximize the opportunity. That's what I'm looking to do.
Great. Thanks, guys.
Harry, thank you very much for the questions. And Vidal and Rashad, thank you very much for joining us. Good luck to you guys on November 28th.
Man, thanks for having us, man. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Ariel. Appreciate you.
All right.